And now, actually, should be enough, but we have one more. One more, which is even a bigger change from the Ducati standard culture. We said on the very beginning of the presentation that actually Ducati is red. This is very clear. So it's racing, it's sporty. And last year, or actually this year, we got painted yellow. So now we are orange, red and yellow. And this year we are ready to enter into the black. Black is a pretty interesting color. And it means a lot, as we have seen. But it's kind of also very distant from the typical red, in which, for us, it's very clear, sporty, while the black, we start to get into a world in which is more elegant, more dressing. The red, in one way, it's cornering, or racing, or track, while the black we consider being a long road that you may dream or think to go in a very low speed. Again, in our mind, when we think red, we think to a racing glove, while the black is elegant. There's a gentleman. The gentleman will never be dressed in red, black and white. The red is a typical Ducati posture, the way you stay on the motorcycle. When we started to consider black, the black is a change in position. So for us, for all the Ducati team, for all the Ducati people in Borgo Panigale, moving to black was a paradigm shift. We started to consider things that were never considered before. We're starting to consider developing the product in a way we never did before. Start to consider how it could be nice to enjoy using the motorcycle at low speed, for example. And we got to develop this product.
The intersection of worlds. The road along which you discover you're part of something. The multiplication of potential. Maximal strength with minimal effort. Facing forward, forgetting what is behind. Different from what you knew. Low speed excitement.
Alessandro Valia and the new Diavel X. Alessandro Valia is our factory test rider. And I never seen you dressed like this. So what did happen?
It's a big news.
It's big news.
Like the Diavel.
Normally you're dressed with the leather and with the knee on the ground, with the elbow on the ground. So that's a very big surprise. So what does it mean also for you to, what do you think about to be developing this very different product for what it's you're used for?
Yes, for sure. I have to enter a different mood. So this is an incredible bike. When you ride this, after a few minutes, you feel as comfortable as you have been riding for a long time. It's very, very easy to ride, precise, agile, and unbelievably manageable.
So that's start to sound interesting, but what about the performance?
The XDiavel does everything that cruisers don't. So it accelerates, brakes, curves, leans, and it does it at top level.
So sounds interesting, but what about this cruising aspect? Is it a proper cruiser?
Yes, it's very easy, and it allows the rider to enjoy the trip without thinking a lot about riding.
So, I think that if everything you said, it's actually, as we are sure, delivered, our customer will get another very nice experience on a new product. So, thank you very much, Alessandro, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So XDiavel, this product, in my idea, is a kind of crossing. It brings the Ducati core value, what we have seen in the early stage, so style, sophistication, and performance, into the feet-forward world of cruiser. And actually, it is the first time ever. And why we call it XDiavel? X has a very specific meaning, or it has different meanings. It's the intersection of different worlds, but also can be considered as a letter that makes the multiplication of a potential. Or even in mathematics, x is the variable which is unknown, in which you don't know the result up to the end you solve the equation. For us, X is all of this, but above all, it's low-speed excitement. When we look at the motorcycle, we got many comments from the internal designers, but mainly what was surprising for us was that from the very first sketch that Bart did of this motorcycle that got us very impressed and excited, I think the most impressive is how close the silhouette and also the full real motorcycle is to the original sketch. I think they did an incredible job. So again, I ask you, all the people back home to check the picture and all the people that are here to get and look at the close detail, because I think that this bike is a very incredible masterpiece in terms of fine detail. X, for us, means also long motorcycle, low, feet forward, and not possible to see from here, belt drive. Again, first time on a Ducati. So we've taken the silent and the cleanliness and the softiness of the belt drive into the Ducati world. And if we had to describe the motorcycle with just 5 words or with just 3 numbers, I would say 5,000, 60, and 40. 5,000 like the revs of the engine, in which the engine delivers the maximum torque. That speaks loudly how much the engine has been developed for low speed. When we look at the torque shape, it's super impressive. It's impressive how flat it is between 5,000 and 8,000. It's almost stable torque. And it's impressive how superior is the torque of this engine from 3,000 to 5,000 RPM when we compare to the Diavel, which actually is already a very strong engine in that respect. And even more impressive is that between 2,100 to almost top engine speed, you are above 10 kilograms of torque. So, engine, second number, 60. 60 is how the ergonomics combination you can put together when you combine the adjustable position of the foot pegs, which is a standard feature of the motorcycle, with the accessories that you can get together with the bike, that are different seats and different handlebar. On top of this, in order to ride in the best manner with the passenger, the bike will be provided as stock with an extended seat and with a very interesting backrest. There is a third number, which is 40. 40, it's the leaning angle. The leaning angle of the motorcycle of 40 degrees take the bike apart from the standard cruiser. When you consider that the standard Diavel, which is a proper leaning angle, it's rated at 41 degrees. But in this type of engine, this type of bike, the engine is the king. And so we have taken the occasion to make a very close look at all the surfaces of the engine. And when you see the detail and you get closer, you will understand that all the hoses has disappeared. And so all the water is now circulating inside the engine completely. So the engine is super clean, both sides, in order to make really as a diamond inside the frame. And when we compare really this letter, which is X, and we say it's a crossing between different words, I want to try to make some example. We have the foot forward position, which is typical of the cruiser world, and the trellis frame, which is very sporty and typical of our bikes. We have a very big, fat 240 rear tire, and we have a full set of adjustable suspension, front and rear. We have a very long steel tank, and we have a tubular rear swinging arm. We have a final belt drive, untypical of Ducati, and we have Brembo monoblock car repair. Again, this makes the intersection. But then, we wanted to add even one more interesting feature, which is a small red 3-letter written on a black place on the right handlebar. DPL means Ducati Power Launch. And when you push it, the bike settles in a software mode that makes possible to achieve the best ever acceleration with such a long bike. And so, thanks to the development that we have done in many areas, and thanks to the development we have done in the racing, we have been able to offer this software that makes performance really an attractive element inside this world. But the bike you see here is the S version. The S version, it's alongside the standard version, and the S version is everything about detail. Detail means a different set of wheels, but especially you can find a lot of components like all this one that are machined from the billet. So it's much more close to a special than to a typical production machine. But the bike you will see, and the picture you will see, and the bike that you will be able to experience, again tomorrow at the stand, will be exactly as it is in production. On top of this, the front light, it's equipped with a DRL, which set them apart from the standard version. So let's recap a while. We have the intersection, as we say, that make possible to join on only one product, low speed and excitement, lifestyle and technology, cruiser culture and Italian beauty, feet forward and cornering performance. Most of these were not possible to join on the same product before the XDiavel. You either had to choose to be on the left side or to be on the right side. So now, there is the possibility to get on one product only, something that closed these two worlds. And the most interesting part will be to see the bike running. have arrived to the end. And to close this event, I would like to have with me on the stage the riders that have helped to present the product. So the two Andreas, please join me on the stage, and Troy. And I want to close on a very interesting note. This picture talks a lot about Ducati. Ducati was born in 1926. This means that next year, for our company, will be a very important birthday. 90 years. And we want to celebrate this birthday all together. And the best way to celebrate this event all together will be, of course, a number of different events, but above everything will be the WDW, the big event of the big gathering of all the Ducatisti together. Save the date, from 1 to 3rd of July, all the Ducatisti back in Emilia-Romagna to share together the passion of Ducati. Thank you very much. Remember, you can post questions to the hashtag Ducati 2016. Thank you again.